What's up, you guys? So I'm here now. I'm gonna give you guys a story time. So, as you can read by the title, this is a bad experience with a Lyft driver. Okay, so basically, this particular morning, I remember, because normally my boyfriend mom will take me to work, but this morning she didn't have her car. So the thing was, my boo forgot to communicate with me and let me know that, I had to order a Lyft. So I'm like, okay, well, I gotta order a Lyft, no biggie or whatever. So I ordered a Lyft, the guy comes or whatever, and like he's cool, like it's a white guy. He's real cool, like, we have like a cool conversation in the car, like I didn't think nothing of it. Like I never would think that a Lyft driver would do anything or try anything, because basically they're getting tracked. Like, you could see in the app, and I'm pretty sure they can track him down because he's working on the clock. So, basically, the first red flag, he got on the freeway. So I'm like, I don't know. Normally, when I took Lyfts before, they never got on the freeway. So even like when his mom took me to work, when my boyfriend took me to work, like nobody ever got on the freeway. I wasn't at that job that long yet. So, I don't know. I was like, maybe you have a different route of how to get there, because I know Lyft take you the quickest way. So I'm thinking like maybe that's the quickest way for that day. So we're getting close. We're approaching or whatever. Like I'm looking in the app to see like how close we are. It said we're 2 minutes away, but I'm looking around and I'm seeing like, damn, this don't look familiar. So I look in the app or whatever. The thing was like, it's weird because you know what? Another flag. Like when I first got into the car, he basically told me, he read my address. He read the address I was supposed to go to for my job. But I seen like he was pressing buttons. I didn't think nothing of it. I mean, he was talking about he wanted to take, like it was basically to get to my job, you have to put like this extra, it's like the building, like the unit number or something, it goes first. So like, it's kind of odd, and he felt like that was odd, so he was like, I'm gonna just take that part out. And I told him like, it's fine, like it'll get you to the address, like you don't have to worry about it. But I don't know, I thought that he was just taking that unit number out. So that kind of was a flag there, but I just, I was like, okay. I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't think he would try to do nothing. So yeah, so let's forward back to the part where I was 2 minutes away. So I'm looking around and I'm just like, dang, like this do not look familiar, And so the thing was, he put a different address, but he put like the actual street of where my job was, but just a different address in the front. So I looked at it and I'm just like, what? This ain't right. So I didn't say nothing to the driver. I just put the correct number in there because I was like, maybe, I don't know, he just read it back to me. I don't understand why it got a different address. So I changed the address on the app, because you can do that and it will change you right away. So he seen that I did that and he said, oh, you changed the address. And I'm like, yeah, that was the correct address that you were supposed to go to. And then he started acting weird and stuff, and was like, oh, like, like he didn't know what was going on. He like, I think it's back this way. So like at first he was going the correct direction, like of where he needed to go to get me to work. At this point, I'm already about to be late. So, I'm thinking like maybe he made a mistake. Maybe he accidentally put something wrong. So he's going the correct way. So then he started acting weird, and he like, oh, you know what? I think I'm going the wrong way. I'm going to turn around. So tell me why this man changes the address He changed the address again, back to the wrong address. So I'm like, when he busts a U or whatever, he like, I think it's back this way. I'm like, no, it's showing that you're going the correct way. So he still did a U-turn anyway. So I'm like, I don't think you're going the wrong. I don't think you're going the right way. And he like, yeah, I think it's this way. And I'm like, you know what? I was like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. I said, can you just let me out? And then he was like, no, wait, I think it's this way. I think like still acting weird. And I'm like, let me out. Like I said it like that, like stern, let me out. So he put into an empty, it was like an empty, you know, like plaza, like shopping center. And he let me out there, and it was right next to a gas station. So I get out the car and I'm walking really fast. And at this point, like my heart is racing because I'm just like, oh my God, like I don't know what this man was trying to do. But that's definitely not safe at all. The fact that this man changed the address, like, you know, at first I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I was just like, you know what, maybe he just went, you know, maybe he accidentally pressed the button, I don't know, and accidentally put the wrong address, because it was the same street like I said, but it was just further down. Like it was like 15 minutes away. Like I don't understand. So, you know, I was like, okay, well maybe he made a mistake, that's why I changed it in the app. But when the man changed the address again, like after I put the right address and then he changed it again, like I knew it was something wasn't right. So he let me out. He drove off somewhere, I don't know where he went. And I start walking fast or whatever, like instantly, you know, I was like, you know, I don't know if this man about to follow me. I don't know what's going on. Because at this point, like, you know, once he dropped me off, I get a notification saying that the ride is done. So I'm like, okay. And, you know, I see that it said, well, no, you know what? I'll take that back. Actually, the ride didn't get done till probably 5 to 10 minutes after he dropped me off. So he kept it going or whatever. Like, you know, at this point I wasn't even worried about the Lyft or ending the ride or nothing like that. Like the first person I called was my boyfriend or whatever, and he was at work, you know, and you know, of course he couldn't do much. He didn't really know what was going on, you know, so he was just like, well, you need to get to work, like, you know, just call another Lyft, just so you could get to work, like we could talk about this later. So I'm like, okay. So, you know, I'm walking. So I walk past that gas station, and then I walk to, like right on the other side of the shopping plaza. I kid you not, I look to my right, and I see the Lyft driver, like sitting there in the car. And I don't know if he was like just looking at me, trying to observe to see what I was doing. Like, I don't know. I was so scared. I'm just like, my heart started beating, like pounding. And I'm just like, oh my God. So at this point, it's like a busy street or whatever. And it's like a divider in the middle. So, you know, when the cars start, so as soon as I seen that the guy was right there in his car and his car door open, I ran across the street like as fast as I can. And you know, at this point I'm just like, oh my God, like I think he's following me. My boyfriend is on the phone, and he like, you know, I can't do nothing right now, like, babe, just call a Lyft, like call your job, let them know you're late, and you know, you're gonna have to get a Lyft, like you need to get out of that area. So basically from there, like I'm just looking all around, and I'm like so scared, because you know, I don't know if this guy's trying to abduct me at this point. Like, you know, I'm just like, that's some real stalker shit. Like this guy is really lurking and trying to you know, see where I'm going, or trying to get me. I don't know what's going on. So basically after that, I end up calling my job or whatever. So at this point, I'm late to work. I'm late. So I called my job or whatever. I let them know I was coming late. And then from there, I did go ahead and order a new Lyft. At this point, I was like, I was scared. Like, honestly, that was the only option I had. And I was basically at a place where I never been before, like in an area I never really been before. I didn't really know that side of town. So, I'm still looking around, because I'm like looking to see if the guy is following me, like what's going on. And then finally another Lyft driver come. So at this point, I'm kind of hysterical, like, because I'm just like, I can't believe that happened. Like, that was like my whole heart had dropped. And I was talking to the new Lyft driver and I told him what happened, and he was like, oh my God, like that's crazy. And he was like, you should report this guy. Like, I feel bad that happened to you, and etc. or whatever. So I said, yeah, definitely. I'll see about reporting him. So I finally get to work, and at that point I'm like a whole like 30 to 45 minutes late, all because of this man. I would have been on time if he would have just took me to work, but I was late to work, and that was the first time I ever was late to work. And this is a new job, of course you want to make sure everything is good. You want to be there on time. Like, you don't want to have no mess ups, So honestly, once I got there or whatever, like, I still was kind of like panicky, because I just was like, that was a crazy experience. Like, I never had to deal with anything like that taking a Lyft. Like, I never had that experience. I always had the greatest customer service. Like, that was one of my recommended companies. But after that experience, it just was like, like, it made me not want to do Lyft anymore. Like, no driving company, because at the end of the day, these are strangers that are taking you around. And I don't understand how the man even had the power to do something like that. Like, I don't even know how they can allow someone to be able to do something. And stuff start going through my head, like, I wonder, has any other girl ever experienced this? Or and then when I did see, like, okay, so back when I seen that he ended the ride, it basically was way more than what I was quoted originally when he first picked me up. So because he took me, I don't know, then he dropped, like, where he said he dropped me off wasn't even where he actually dropped me off. So honestly, I'm not for sure what that was. And then just when I looked into it on Google Maps where he claimed that he dropped me off, it was like, it seemed like an abandoned place. So like, I don't know, but I didn't heard people on YouTube say something about sex trafficking. I mean, I hope to God that's not what he was trying to do as far as me, like, take me somewhere. I don't know, but I mean, you guys got to be safe. Like, anybody out there that's looking at this video, I made this, guys, for you. Like, you cannot trust these Lyft drivers. Make sure you're looking at where they're taking you. Make sure when you get in the back seat, make sure you check to see if it has a child lock on there. Like, take precautious measures, because this could happen to anybody. And God was with me that day, and it was a couple of red flags that allowed me to know that this ain't right. Something ain't right. So because of that, I'm here today. Like, I'm blessed, but I'm just stressing that you guys just make sure you're being careful. You make sure everything is safe for you. And if something don't feel right, go with your gut instinct. Start asking questions. Like, make them feel nervous. If you make them feel nervous, then a lot of times they'll just let you out, or they'll it will deteriorate them from their bad motives, if they feel like they're gonna get caught. So I definitely say make sure you're aware. So just to follow up on what happened, so basically I did like report that driver. I told, you know, basically Lyft had told me like they're very sorry and they won't ever pair me with him again and stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay, that's fine that you won't pair him with me again, but what about other people who is going to deal with this man? Like, ain't no telling, you know, what's going to happen. I don't want this to happen to nobody else. Like, that is just sad. And you know, I told them that I want a refund for that ride because I was overcharged because he took me to the wrong place. That was his mistake. He read it. He read the address before he left. And I told him yes. And he still took me to the wrong address. And then on top of that, once I seen it was the wrong address, I changed it and the man changed it back. So because of that, I told them that I need a full refund. So they gave me a full refund back of how much I was charged, you know. But I don't know, to this day, they never told me anything about the man, if he no longer works with Lyft or what's going on. I just left it at that. On top of that, you know, another thing that was kind of scary is the fact that this man picked me up from my house, so he knew where I lived. And you know, I just didn't want no retaliation or nothing to go on. But I'm pretty sure it was something that he may have done to other people. So like I said, I do say that you guys be cautious of your Lyft, whether it be Lyft, Uber driver, or taxi. I do thank you guys for tuning in with me today. Go ahead and go ahead and subscribe. And make sure you leave feedback below. Go ahead and comment. Let me know if anybody else been through this, you know, and maybe some encouraging words or safety tips for people who are catching a Lyft or a Uber to get to work every day. I do thank you for tuning in, and you guys have a wonderful day.